I tried to unmute myself like 2-3 times. Nothing happened. You can tell I have not been the streaming for a long time. See, I can't even. That's kind of funny though. Okay, let's pull down the music a little bit more because I feel like it's very loud. Maybe there? Yeah. There. Happy? How is everyone? It's been a while. Wait, let me... Oh my god, there's so many things to do. So many things to look at. Wait. Ah! No! Why do I have ears? There we go. Getting ears from nowhere. That's good. Hello everyone! Welcome, welcome. I still think the volume is pretty loud. Yeah. Like that. I'm happier with that. There's a lot of people here that haven't actually read the book. That makes me kind of sad. Let's see. I'm gonna unmute Tay as well. Hello, Tay.
Hello.
I did a poll just to see how many people in chat that read the book and how many that haven't. And there's more people who haven't read the book than who actually have.
Well, I voted. I did read.
Yeah. I can't vote. He just asks me to log in, and I don't want to log in. I also can't read chat because the poll is in the way. I don't know why that's the thing. I have to look at YouTube, I guess. So, have you recovered from reading the book? I know you read it yesterday. It's a very depressive read, after all.
I think I had it soaked in. It has sunken in.
It has sunken in. Oh, that does not sound very good. Are you ready to talk about it? It took me like a couple of weeks for me to get over the ending, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you accepted the ending yet? You have come to terms with it?
I think I'm okay with it now. Or I have to be okay with it.
There's nothing to do. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Not what I wanted, but it's what happened.
Definitely is what happened. Yeah. He's kind of funny though. I think because I can see there's so many people who votes no for they haven't read the book, I feel like I should do a summary of the book before we start discussion. I feel like that would be most proper. I actually started posting animations on my... Oh, that's cool. Animations are always fun. But, what can I say? A summary. The author is J.H. I think he goes by just J.H. But his name is Jung Ji-hoon. And I probably butchered that pronunciation because me no Korean. I know nothing. But he's a South Korean manhwa artist. Do you know what manhwa is, Tay?
It's like a manga, but Korean.
Yes, definitely. Did you just guess or did you actually know?
No, on our last meeting, you taught me that.
Oh, Oh, see.
I remember.
You're actually learning because that's another thing about our meetings, right? You're the noob and I'm the experienced know-it-all.
Mhm.
So
I am learning.
you're learning. But something I didn't know though is it actually started as a webtoon. Do you know what a webtoon is?
It's a comic on the web.
Definitely, yes. There is an app or a website called Webtoon where anyone can upload like episodes or chapters, and then people can read them. And yeah, it's basically self-publishing or whatever. And he started this Horizon. This book was a webtoon to start with, but then it got like well known and people really loved it, so they published it in a physical form as well. It's an app. It could be a website. Exactly. But he's well or most known for his ability to express deep psychological and emotional themes through stories with very little dialogue. He preferred to make his artwork or his illustrations do all the talking. So little to no words and sometimes some words, but mainly he likes to just use art. And he works with trauma a lot. I think he has another webtoon or manhwa called The Boxer, and it's about a boxer. I actually haven't read it, so I don't know anything about it. But because the fact that we read this one and I loved it, I kind of want to read The Boxer. And I do like sport mangas or sport themes, you know? But yeah, that's a little bit about the author himself. But the Horizon, because now I see 75% have not voted. Yes. The Horizon that we've been reading and we're going to be discussing today is kind of like, it's not a wordless manhwa because it does have words. It's a very easy read though. I can't say it's easy because it's depressing and emotionally touring, but it will stomp on your heart sometimes and you will cry maybe if you're emotional like me and Tay. Because I cried and I think you cried. Did you cry?
Yeah, someone was cutting onions.
Oh yeah. So you weren't crying. It was the onions. I thought you were alone yesterday when you were reading it. So who was cutting?
It was a ghost. The ghost in the stairs.
Of course. The ghosts were making you cry, nothing else.
Of course.
T here. Oh, welcome, Reynold. I never cried during a story other than a dog almost died in a movie. Oh, that's so sad. It kind of reminds me, I talked about it on Discord. Last weekend, I were in an accident. Oh my god, I'm getting sad just thinking about it. I ran over a cat. And I'm like the biggest cat lover ever, and I was like super devastated and sad. I was like, I jumped out of my car and I ran to the cat and I sat on the street just crying, and I was like, he's dead, you know. But I was kind of happy he died quickly though, you know, by the hit straight away, and he wasn't like lying there being tortured, you know. But then the owner came and the owner was just like, oh, whatever. Every cat we owned dies because there's so much traffic on this road. and we get to keep them maybe half a year or a year, and then they die. And I was like, but why do you keep getting cats? And I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, and this is horrible. And he was like, whatever. I still feel bad about it. I had nightmares a couple days after, and I can still not drive that road at all. And it's kind of like the closest road to go to my friend, so now I have to like take a different kind of road just to go to her, because I can't be reminded of the accident. And he was so small. He wasn't like a fully grown cat yet. He wasn't a baby, but he wasn't fully grown yet. So maybe he was like a year, 10 months, something like that. What the fuck do you mean, whatever? I know, I don't get it myself. And it was just horrible experience. I don't know why I started talking about that, because that makes me depressed again. It's just, I went to work, I told my coworkers, and they like hugged me, and they were like, oh, you're like the biggest animal lover, we know this is hard on you. And I was like, yeah. And I felt like the worst human being ever, because it wasn't like I tried to hit it, you know. I was just driving, and it was like in the ditch, and it was like, it's a black cat, and it was in the middle of the forest. I couldn't see it in the forest, in the ditch, and then suddenly he like jumped in front of my car, and I like stopped the car as fast as I could, and I tried to like not hit the cat, you know. And I was like praying to God to not hit it, and I still felt that dunk. And I just don't understand people who like, if you had multiple cats die for the same reason and the same road, why do we keep getting cats, you know? It feels very irresponsible to me. Hello, Nine Swords. Welcome. I'm just talking about sad shit that I was not supposed to talk about. I needed to vent. What was we talking about? How did I get in on that topic?
We were talking about the story being sad, which reminded you of something sad that happened to you recently.
Right, yeah. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, we were talking about dogs dying. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. No, I was going to try to do a summary of The Horizon, because there was so many who haven't read it yet. But it follows two children who's trying to survive like the aftermath of a war, and we never get like a specific name for the war. There's like no political things and no location given, which kind of makes it timeless in a sense. And instead of using text, it's more relying on pictures and illustrations and how to convey emotional stuff, and allowing the reader to interpret the narrative however that person wants to interpret it, which I think is very interesting, and is one of the reasons why I thought it could be a good discussion book, because I feel like even the ending is very up to interpretation, how you think it ended, you know. But it follows the journey of these two protagonists, taking them through a war-torn landscape, moments of like fleeting safety, and they encounter both kindness but also cruelty and different kind of people, and how people change in these kind of circumstances. And through it all, I think that's kind of it, without spoiling it too much. We are going to spoil it though, because there are some things that happens in book 2 and 3 that I really want to talk about. And Tay, you read all of them, right? All 3 volumes?
I did.
And I like it is a lot of people who says no. So just know that when we actually do discuss, we're going to talk about things that might be spoilers. Spoilers? Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I read volume 1. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna spoil it for you then. Did you like volume 1 though? Did you feel like you want to continue it? Because like volume 1 is very, in my opinion, tame. If we're going to like I feel like volume 2 and 3, that's where it's at. That's where the author stomps on your heart. I want to continue. I like wholesome stuff. Yeah, this is not wholesome whatsoever. Were you gonna say something, Tay? Or are you just saying yeah for the sake of saying yeah?
I was gonna agree that it takes a turn in volume 2.
It does, yeah. I don't really remember because I read it so long ago, which is another thing that I think we should do a discussion on. We decided to have like one of these a month, but I kind of feel like we should have it more often. I feel like, you know, you forget because like reading like one manga volume takes like 1 hour or whatever, depending on the context, of course, but most manga volumes does not take that long to read if it's not like an omnibus, of course. And I felt like 1 month were definitely too long. I kind of felt like maybe we can do it once a week, once every other week or something. But what did Tay say?
I do agree that 1 month was a bit overkill, considering how short these stories are.
Yeah, I mean, you read all 3 yesterday.
Yes.
You waited until the last minute, and then you were like, I will do it now, senpai, and I was like, what the fuck?
It do be like that.
So he has a fresh memory. He does. So sometimes I remember the story very well because it's etsad. Oh my god, what's that in English? It's like it's poked into my brain because it was so sad. So I feel like I can't really, but some specifics I can't really remember if it's in book 2 or 3 or 1 for that matter. I don't really know how each volume ends. I know the full story as a whole. So that's where I'm at with that. I did save down some pictures from the story that I feel is easy to talk around. Is I feel like I took some of them, and I think like they're good discussion starters. But I feel like we should start with our opinions. I've said a little bit, but we can start with Tay. What did you think of the overall story? And whatever. But what did you think about it when you read it?
I did really like it.
Yeah, because you like depressing shit. You little emo boy.
Things that makes me cry is the best. So I did. So especially in volume 2, when shit they got real. That's when the real good things started to go down.
Yeah. You like suffering, I hear.
Pain and suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked how they didn't hold back anything. They really showed everything, all the horrors of war and survival.
Do you think if you were the boy, would you have survived, or are you too weak to survive?
I would probably be food for some cannibal or something.
What? Do you not have faith in yourself? I mean, you are kind of skinny. I mean, if you're
I
skinny,
mean,
who wanna eat you?
I could probably survive for a bit, but luck would run out sometimes, especially if you're on your own and a little kid.
Oh my god. I haven't read it yet. I forgot completely. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's why I feel like one meeting a month is just maybe a dumb idea. I mean, normal people do, like when they have a book circle, they do one a month, right? But they read a big fucking, book with only text and no pictures, and we're gonna read pictures and little text. So I feel like it's more fitting that maybe we do more often, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, I think so
I mean,
too.
even from the start, we were, or at least you were questioning do we really need a month? That's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. Read pictures, but I mean, you do read pictures though. People think that you don't read, but you kind of do read them though. Like you look at the pictures, you interpret the pictures, you take it in. You know, some pictures you have to look at more than other pictures. This manga, for example, that I feel like this one is definitely one of those. I don't know if you guys know about silent pictures, like silent books. It's basically picture books for adults with adult themes, and they are silent, meaning there's no words in them. And then you have to like flip the illustrations and make up the story in your head depending on how you interpret the illustrations, which is really interesting. There's one book that I really like. I do usually do this with my students in the library, where everyone gets to read it, and then the ending is so different, and everyone has different meaning behind the endings because they had different stories in their heads, which is completely cool, to be honest. Which is kind of what I like about manga, because people are just like, oh, it's just cartoons or whatever, but some manga artists actually do put a lot of effort into their illustrations, and the illustrations is really important to the actual story. I mean, some mangas are just like whatever, I guess, but there's always those with like important illustrations, which is kind of cool in my opinion. Should we start with the pictures, because I feel like the pictures are the most fun to talk about or look at.
Let's go.
I need to find the first one. Let's see. I don't even remember what I named them. Okay, that's the first one. This is from volume 1, so no spoilers yet.
Spoilers?
Spoilers?
Balululu.
This is even so early in the story that it's the first page. Did you know which what it could be?
I think I remember the first picture.
Yeah, not really the first picture, but it is a picture. It starts with this boy, and he goes out from his hiding place to look for his mom after the war has come to his town, and he finally see his mom, and this is what we have. This is one of the only times I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is one of the first times or the only times where we don't get to see a face.
I think so too.
Because like in the rest of the entire manga, we have faces to all the dead people. Even those, because like you could argue that his mom was so mangled that he could not recognize her, and I think that's the purpose of it. That like he think this is his mom, but she's so mangled that you can't really tell it's his mom. But we have seen other mangled people in the other volumes. That's even looking worse than his mom. This is way more depressing than I expected. Yeah. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this. So I am sorry for just this isn't even that depressing if you compare to what actually happens later on. This is very tame.
Big trigger warning for gore, violence,
Humanity.
humanity doing what they're good at.
Yeah. What did you feel about the start though? Like, you know, when I said, "Oh, it's very depressing, blah blah blah. Let's read it, blah blah blah." And then you see this as a start where you're like, "What the fuck? What did you force me to read?" Or what was your first thoughts?
My first honest opinion was, this gonna be good.
Of course.
I also started to think the way they draw the pictures, how it's like super focused on just the mom and the kid, nothing in the background.
Yeah.
I start to believe that, like, maybe this is his memories looking back at it. So we are seeing a memory right now, and
Yeah. But yeah.
and why her face is like blurred out is because he's part of the maybe a trauma response, trying to remove his memories of the incident.
Yeah, or maybe it's just his brain does not want to remember his mom in that state.
Yeah.
Because in the next picture after this is when he start picking her brain up and he's trying to put her back together.
That was so sad and messed up.
Yeah, because he was like, "Mom, mom," and he was like trying like a puzzle to like piece her together, but without it actually working. How old would you say the boy is? Because I don't think they ever said an age.
I would say they're probably like 8, 9,
Yeah.
maybe 10.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like he's very short though. If you look at his length, He's not very tall, and he kind of gives me 5-6-year-old vibes. Yeah, I thought 6-7. Yeah, I think he's just like started school age, around 6, I think. You sound Russian. I'm Swedish. I guess I'm close enough to Russia. Suka bliet.
Привет.
Привет. Babushka. But yeah, I'm not Russian. I'm a little bit my nose is kind of stuffed though. Maybe that's why I sound extra Russian today. I don't know if it's because like I'm sick or if it's pollen, because it comes and goes. Sometimes my nose is like super stuffed and sometimes it's not. But I know I'm not allergic to pollen, so I don't really know what it is. And not the country Poland. But even if my German genes, no, okay, and that bad joke.
No.
How long is it? Is it finished? Yeah, it's finished. It's a webtoon that's 21 chapters long, or there's 3 physical copies, like 3 volumes. So it's a very short series, this one. And there's not a lot of dialogue. It's basically just how a war is seen through a child's eyes kind of thing. So there's a lot of more, you have to like gather the emotion through the illustrations. So it's kind of like a quick read, I would say. Pollen, I'm dying from it right now. My eyes are red. No, I'm so sorry. I heard that you can get pollen at like an old age. Not like old, but like even if you're not born with pollen allergies, you can get it later.
I was born with it, and then it got better with age.
You're born with a defect.
Factory defect.
One
Please
of many.
return.
Yeah.
One of many, gotta.
How long would the stream be? I was thinking about reading it and come back. I don't know how long the stream will be. We usually stream maybe 2 hours, and we streamed 40 minutes now, so maybe 1 hour and 20 more minutes, I think. Maybe. Perhaps. You get to come back to the VOD otherwise. But I do recommend reading it. It's a good read. Depressing as fuck in the end. And we will get to that. Another thing. Did you want to say anything more about this? The start of the chapter?
No.
Okay. Move along.
Moving on.
Moving on. Okay. We have this picture. The only reason why I took this picture is because I wanted to show and talk about the characters. Because we have 2 main characters, and it's a girl and a boy. And the ones we have on the screen here, you can also see how they are trying to survive the harsh reality of rain and everything on their little travel. What did you think about the characters? Did you like the boy and the girl, or did you not like them? Did you think they were dum-dums or pretty good main characters?
I did like their dynamic and their teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
They made the dream work.
Yeah. I think it's like, you know, I didn't like him to start with. And we will get to that because it has to do with a strange man. Because one of the first people that they meet after meeting each other, of course, because it starts with the boy, and then it goes to them together. One of the first people they meet is, we don't really have a name for many of these characters, right? So I will just call him the strange man because he is strange. But yeah, I felt like the boy was just way too suspicious, you know, way too sus, and way too smart for a child, you know, because I envisioned them to be the same age as my brother's kids. And maybe even, you know, your sister's kids, Tay.
Yeah.
And if you look at their cleverness and the cleverness of the people in the book, I feel like it doesn't match, right? I feel like, you know, he was very sus and being like, he's gonna do blah, 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 and we have to think about this and this, you know? And I feel like children don't really think like that. Maybe it's just me. I just felt like there were two kids with adult mindsets. Especially him. I felt like she was more naive and stupid, which makes sense because she's a child and she sees an adult and you trust adult. But he was like, nah fam, I am smart and clever, even though I'm only 6.
I didn't mind that so much, but from my perspective, I thought they were like 3-ish years older than what you thought.
Yeah, I guess.
So like their intelligent level, I didn't think it was that crazy. And I do believe that a child in this kind of extreme situation would be able to grow up a lot faster.
I mean, yeah.
And if it's good for them or not, that could be debated, but I didn't think it was like out of nowhere or like gifted from the gods.
Yeah. Maybe. I also think, like, you know, because if you look at this picture, for example, he feels, if you only look at him, he feels taller than the first picture that we saw. So I feel like maybe in the beginning, when we see like the height of the guy, that's a memory of when his mother died, and that was when he was really young. And we don't really know the time span. Maybe he is here older, maybe he's 8 or something here, or 9, and it's just like the war and ongoing things been for years ongoing. Maybe
That could definitely be possible.
because I kind of feel like, also, if I just look at the picture right now, he kind of feels older than the first picture that we saw. So maybe there is like a time gap between the first chapter and this. Because we never really get a time frame of everything, really.
Yeah, like if we look at the setup some future character have, like the guy in the city, something like that, you don't, with all the cameras and traps, you don't set up that in a day or two.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, people have been writing. Thank you so much for being amazing. I hope you're having an amazing day, both of you. But yeah, I might not see your response, but love you guys. Bye-bye, Ninja. Bye-bye. And I say, also, this almost exactly as long as 3 Days of Happiness, which is also really depressing and one of my favorite things ever. 3 Days of Happiness. I feel like I've heard about that one, but I don't quite remember. I will read this and come back. Hopefully the stream isn't over by then. I thought they were generic. Oh yeah, the characters. I didn't think he predicted the strange man would try, but the boy had a gut feeling the strange... Yeah, he wasn't good. Children often have a more accurate impersonation of someone because they don't work with so many... Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Could be. But I mean... I also feel, because like if we look at the strange man, he is definitely strange, so to speak, and he do strange things that isn't giving you, you know, the security and safety. Like for example, he sits up and stares at them in the middle of the night. Like, you know, I wouldn't trust someone who did that to me even if I was 5. I think, you know, because it's not cute, it's not security, especially not if like the death stare that he kind of gave off. But yeah, I feel like, you know, I would be dead to meat if I was in this situation, because like I was a very shy kid, and I would be like, I would either be super naive and trust everyone, or I would be like super scared and hide from everyone, but I don't think I would have like the knowledge to survive on my own, you know?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I watched a lot of like zombie apocalypse movies and such.
Yeah.
So when I was little, I was more used to people be weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And my dad always told me when I was a kid that you kick weird people in the nuts. Nobody touch my child, you know. So
And for the balls.
yeah. I don't know. I was scared of strangers when I was a kid. Stranger danger was a real thing. But we started talking about the strange man, so I will just... That was a small picture of the strange man. Here we go. Strange man. Kabow.
Yeah.
Bow. So what did you think about the strange man when you noticed him?
Well,
Or noticed him when he was introduced, maybe is a better word.
He was definitely strange. That's true. But I was thinking, like, why is he like that? Is it this a severe trauma response from the war?
Yeah.
Or maybe he was a bit special before
Yeah.
and unleashed to the wasteland.
Yeah.
But the way he acted, it was like he was a feral, a child, like he grew up in the wilderness
Yeah.
all his life.
Yeah.
But he had like normal clothes and stuff. So, like something happened that made him regress back to monkey, almost.
Yeah. In the beginning, he was speaking not so much like words that was understandable. There was more like, you know, eep eep and eek eek, and you know, and grunting. And he does have a darker complexion, which like it could either be that he's been outside a lot, but he's also blonde, and I feel like, I don't know, is there that many blonde people? I mean, technically it doesn't have to be an Asian country, I guess. But I was kind of like in the beginning, I was like, okay, this is a stranger that also doesn't speak their language, which made him strange, you know? But he also kind of understood everything, so I kind of was like, I don't think he's a foreigner. But why does he not speak, you know? And it frustrated me. And something that I feel, especially if you look at this picture here, doesn't he remind you of like a drunk person? Like, it does have like that darker shade on his cheeks, as if he was intoxicated like all the time, and he's giving like, you know, that either the rage, because some people get like alcohol rage, or they get like this happiness rage, you know, ruse or whatever. Doesn't he kind of came across as an alcoholic man that stumbles out of the pub 3 in the morning, you know?
Yeah. I do think he said like a yes or a no once,
Yeah.
but he only talks with like grunting noises and eeps. But they talk, the kids talk to him, and he seems to understand them fine when they do.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's a foreigner.
Yeah. I just think that he's been outside in the sun a lot, and that's why his complexion is darker compared to the kids. But he also gives off, like you said, like he's been in this situation much longer than the kids. I read somewhere that in an interview, the author said that this character, the strange man, is supposed to like symbolize as the first thing that leaves a human in a dire situation, and that's morals. So he's supposed to like represent humans losing all morals and just doing whatever to survive or get what they want. Where we have the graping scene, of course, and the stealing of the water, and the peeing. He doesn't know if we can put that in the same category. But he kind of do give off. It would make sense because he doesn't really come off as a person with morals. I don't know.
I think he acted like a very small child, like younger than the kids, because the way he acted, like he had no filter. He prioritized himself and only himself. Everything was his.
Yeah.
And they like had to hide their water and food from him, because he would take it. He would take everything he saw.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is something called regression in age as well, which is a trauma response. It would make sense. That would also explain him not being able to talk many words, I suppose. You know?
Yeah, that was my thoughts when I saw how he acted and stuff.
Maybe he wanted to go back to a simpler time, and that simple time in his life was when he was a child, and that's why he went back. Maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't like him though. He made me uncomfortable.
He was super creepy.
Right? Like if you compare to the other people that they meet alongside the way later on in the other volumes, I still feel like this particular man is the creepiest of all of them. And I can't pinpoint what it is, because we do have cannibalisms in people later on, which is more fucked up than this man. But there's something about this man that just creeps me out, and it's probably just like his irrational behavior, because the other ones, they were like calm, collected people. I just felt like he was all over crazy, and it felt like you couldn't pinpoint what is his next mood gonna be. Is he gonna be mad? Is he gonna have rage? Is he gonna be happy about the situation, you know? Especially that one illustration in the night when he's sitting like crawled up and just staring at them, and you can like see the hollow of his eyes. I felt like that was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think his unpredictability made him by far the creepiest and the most dangerous, because the other people they meet, it's kind of obvious what they want. Even if other people they are more of them, they have guns, they're gonna do this and that. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But this guy is like an enigma. Like anything is completely unpredictable. Anything could trigger him to make him mad.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do something, he gets super happy. You do it again, he maybe gets mad this time. It's completely unpredictable, and unpredictability is very scary.
That is true. Yeah. For me, it was the point when he started to eat the rabbit cadaver that a fox had caught. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. He was completely feral, like a wild animal. That's why he was also scared by fire. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that detail, that he was scared by the fire. Which is something, you know, we talked about recently, me and my coworkers, not being scared about fire, but that we think there's like something human in us. Because like anyone that you ask, everyone love the smell of fire, the sound of fire, and like the presence of fire, as long as it's like controlled, of course. But like in Sweden, we have at Easter and stuff, we have like these big fires and stuff, and sometimes even on Valborg, or Valpurgis, or whatever you want to call it. And everyone really is drawn to fire, as like it's like a human response, that human fire, ooga booga, I don't know. But we thought it was kind of interesting that we all love fire so much. So maybe him being scared of the fire kind of takes away the humanity in him. Kinda?
Yeah, I think the way he acted to the fire, it was really like he regressed many years back.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like fire, you know, like a good cabin fire at home, or a campfire, making some marshmallows or whatever.
Hot dogs.
That's hot dogs. But that's because we know what it is. We always, even from a young age, we know what it is. We can predict it. We know how it works. But he regressed so far back, like to like a caveman.
Yeah.
So, and imagine you are alive like 100,000 years ago. No
Before
one
fire.
knows what a fire is, and you come across a burning bush or whatever after like a lightning strike.
Yeah.
That would probably be very scary because very few things in nature is like a fire.
Yeah. Mastering fire is a sign of civilization. Yeah. So I kind of feel like maybe it's a way to show his wilderness in a sense and how he is not humane anymore, but more wild and unpredicted and weird. I don't know. He's still one of the most uncomfortable characters in the entire story. And I liked reading about him in the chapters, but I also didn't like reading about him in the chapters. If you know what I mean.
It was a pleasant, uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Another picture that I really, really liked is, let's see, I called it D for some reason. Oh, it's this picture huge. Of course it is. Picture is either small or huge. Okay, that's good, I think. This one, with the two children in between adults firing weapons and having their own kind of war between them, and the children just trying to find their path in between. I feel like this entire illustration right here is what the entire series and books are about. I feel like it's just such a good illustration. If someone asks like what this book series is about, I feel like this picture kind of chimes it all in.
Definitely.
I do kind of feel like if you look at the military men, though, I feel like they have very old-fashioned gear for a war. It's not very not cyber, but it doesn't feel like it's today. It kind of feels like it was yesterday rather than today. But I think it's also kind of made simplicity that, you know, this is the helmets that we usually refers to military. It's easy, it's a symbol, blah blah blah. So maybe shouldn't put too much thought into it.
Well, I do enjoy myself some guns, so I definitely recognize the weapons
Oh,
they are
okay.
based on.
Are they very well drawn then? Is the detailing good?
I mean, not really, but I can see what they're going for.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the guys on the left, they have more Western weapons. Like the guy in the middle there.
Yeah.
You can see his gun the clearest. That looks like an M4, an old version of a M4.
Yeah, okay.
That's used by the American Army, based on the AR-15. And you can see how it has a carry handle, no optics. So, kind of not a modern. It's not a modern setup.
Yeah.
You can see the guys on the left have like AK derivatives of all kinds.
But you can also see here, by the way, here you can see the children being very, very small. But I kind of feel like here it's more like an artistic choice, maybe, to like make them feel small in a world where they don't have anything to say, because it's the adults who do the actions, and their action is war and chaos, and the children are just like deal with the the consequences of the adults who are the bigger people. Because as you can see here, they're very small, you know, they're not taller than the legs of people.
Yeah. This picture does make me think about a game I played.
Oh yeah.
It's called Forever Winter, and there you play as survivors that scavenge in a conflict like this. So you're like a tiny survivor with a little gun, and all around you are like soldiers with machine guns, tanks, attack helicopters. So you're like the little guy. You have nothing to say. You're just trying to survive. And all these big superpowers all around you are trying to kill each other. And sometimes they kill you by accident. Because their conflict is so great. It's so much bigger than them. And they just want to live.
Is the conflict ever bigger than anything, though? I feel like sometimes people are just like afraid to be like, okay, I was wrong, so they have to like continue the war just because, or because you can't go back or whatever. I don't feel like the conflict is ever bigger than human life, but that's just to me. Generic again could be anywhere for the last 50 or so years. Yeah, I feel like, you know, maybe there's a reason why he makes it generic, just to make it timeless in a way. Game wise, it reminds me of This War of Mine. I have that game, but I never played it. If it is on my Steam, maybe I should pick it up.
I played it a little.
Yeah.
It definitely has those vibes too.
Yeah. I feel like now I'm gonna put pictures on that spoilers, and we're gonna talk about spoilers. So if anyone listening do not want to be spoiled, now is the time to leave. This is my favorite character. Not because he's hot. I mean, he kind of is. Look at that man. Look at that renowned, good-looking man. Am I wrong?
He do be kind of cool.
Yeah. I like him a lot. Did they say he had a name? I don't remember a name. I don't think he ever gave a name, right?
I don't think anyone had a name. It was
I feel like it's a nameless manga as well.
the closest thing we had was like mom or dad.
Yeah, that is true. But this man, I think he was in the second book, right?
Yes.
Yes. Which is my favorite book, because this man is in the book. He kind of owns an entire city all by himself, and he shoots anyone that comes into the city that has guns on them. He feels like he's very righteous in doing so, because he does not want vandals coming into his city, and he doesn't want people who can hurt other people to come into the city. which I find to be very ironic considering he himself has many, many, many weapons and he gunned down anyone who comes into his city. Like, isn't it kind of funny though? He's like, oh, anyone who has guns are bad people and they should not exist. But I myself may have them. Others may not though.
I mean, you kinda need a weapon to defend yourself in this world.
I mean,
So he,
yeah.
so he is basically just gunning down any person that comes into the city, which makes his he like goes against his own reasoning.
He really does. He really does. And it's also kind of funny because he is putting up cameras all over the city that's like spying on every corner so he knows exactly where everyone is and if someone is coming into the city. And what I understood, he kills 10 people a day or something like that, sometimes even more. He's just gunning everyone down. But the kids, they come into the city and because they don't have any guns, they are kind of welcome and he takes them in. And he feels like he's like this very nice man who takes them in and gives them food and shelter and protection and safety and all that. And they kind of help him as well with his job. The girl, not so much. She stays home and cooks, right? And the boy, he looks at the cameras and tells the man where the people are so he can gun them down. Basically.
They both looked at the cameras together at first, but
Oh,
the girl was like, I don't want to be part of a killing.
Oh, yeah,
But
right. Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
remember. Yeah.
So he made her the cook.
Which is extremely ironic when we later on learns that the way that he survives is by eating a lot of meat, which comes from the people he guns down. Which is just like, you know, because he kinda is worse than the crazy man. You know, he technically does not have any morals either. Like, he think he's just in his way of thinking and acting in gunning people down because they have weapons. Even though it's ironic considering he's doing the exactly same thing as they are doing, kinda. And not only is he killing them, he's also butchering them and eating them. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, how much food can there actually be though? Like, at some point you have to survive as well. And I feel like I'm reasoning why he's not a bad person here. Please save me.
I mean, if you have an entire city to yourself,
Yeah, there should be a lot of, food or whatever.
there should be a lot of canned beans somewhere.
It really should, because like it's not what I thought was really crazy though, because when they do show the city, it's not like a small city. It's not like a countryside or like a small village. Like, we're talking New York size kinda, you know? And it's crazy to me that he's like alone in this city and he kind of like still guns everyone down that comes in. Like, I mean, he must be very good at what he's doing, right?
Can hit a moving target in a truck. He's pretty good shooting.
Yeah. And the people that comes into the city is coming into the city to actually find food. They're not actually there to stir up any problems or kill anyone. They just come there to go through the stores and get the canned goods. And he's like, oh yeah, they have guns, they should die. Because that's not morally right in my head. Sounds like he is operating on a personal set of rules, though. Yeah, basically. While the strange man was just following his whims without predictable pattern. Yeah. I kind of feel like, they are the same character at the core, kinda. Like a person without morals doing whatever. But they are different side of the coins. Like, this man is very predictable in his way of thinking, and even though he's a horrible man, he's very rational in his way of doing things and thinking. I felt like, you kind of understood his explanation in a way.
Yeah, he definitely gave me the vibes like he's the robot that tries to end the human suffering by killing every human.
Yeah.
Because if you're dead, you can't suffer. Something like that.
In the beginning, I thought he was going to be like some kind of like religious freak, but maybe that's just me just looking at him being so like properly dressed and his water combed hair and no facial hair scruff. He was just like very clean cut. So in the beginning I was like, oh, is he gonna be like a religious freak or something? But he wasn't. He was just crazy in other ways. But I liked him. He was a very likable character, which annoys me considering how many bad things he did.
My first impression was maybe he's gonna be a good guy, but you did really quickly see that he has a setup and he has a system, and it's not a good system.
Yeah.
When you look at it.
Yeah, and he tried to make the little boy into be a mini version of himself, and he was really trying to preach his values to the boy. But then when it came down to it, the boy couldn't actually pull the trigger because he felt like if he pulled the trigger himself and he was the one who actually shot a human being, he himself would lose humanity inside of himself. That's how I interpreted that, at least, because he was like, if I shoot this innocent man, I kind of shoot myself, and I kill the human side of myself. And once you do that, there's like no return kind of thing.
And he did shoot him though in the leg.
Yeah, in the leg, but not like, he didn't kill him.
Because that guy was part of the gang that captured them, and they traveled to the city where he ambushed them. So he shot him in the leg, like, because that's an equal exchange.
Yeah.
But he couldn't kill him because he wasn't a threat.
Because it was like, a leg for a leg, because he hurt his leg and then he shot him in the leg. Right? Or is that... Yeah. I was like, maybe I misremembered that, but yeah. Which is kind of Christianity, eye for an eye.
Yeah.
But the old man here, he wanted him to murder. But do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. But he couldn't. So, I mean, that's good on a child, I suppose.
That's pretty neat.
Would you have, though? Would you have pulled the trigger and killed, or would you also whimper out and just shoot in leg?
I don't know. That's like impossible situation until
Yeah.
you are in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to accurately describe what you would actually do is kind of impossible.
Mm.
I would say I probably don't want to shoot someone, but you never
Damn.
know. You never
Damn.
know. The apocalypse may change you.
Mm-hmm. You want to know what you said a few hours ago? Hmm?
What did I say?
If someone grapes you, I would definitely revenge and kill him. Hmm? What happened to that?
Uh, that's another thing.
Damn, you're lying to me, man.
Mm,
That's funny though.
I, I do have priorities.
Mm.
I can say for certain some people I would shoot in that
Damn,
situation.
you already have some people in mind, eh?
Perhaps.
Damn.
What?
What?
I don't know.
You don't.
Did you say anything?
Nah, no.
I didn't hear anything.
Which one was your favorite volume? Was it number 1, 2, or 3? We haven't really talked about 3 yet, but we're gonna get to that. I need a break first.
I don't know. I read them like back to back.
I
So
did that too.
so I just see like everything as
One.
one entity.
Yeah.
So like I favorite part when they have that wholesome moment
Oh.
with the in the forest, the boy and the girl.
Yeah.
That's
Ew.
like feel good. That's probably my favorite part in the book.
The forest scene.
The feel good.
This
What
scene
Yeah, around that.
around here.
Hmm.
Please describe the scene for the people who haven't read book 3. What happens in this scene? What happens in the forest?
Well, first they have a very nice moment together,
Yeah.
and she asks, I think the boy asked the girl if they would should marry each other when they grow up,
Yeah.
and they agree to that, and they become like super excited and super cute together.
Yeah.
And then they continue further into the forest, and they meet another boy with another girl.
Oh, you wanna go into that now? Okay, I see. Wait. I have a picture of that as well. Yes?
So they meet like it's like they see themselves, but on the opposite side of the road on the forest. So at first, the boy points his gun that he got from the man, and the other boy also has his gun. They point it at each other, and those new kids, they are foreigners because they don't understand each other. Because when they talk to each other, they're like texts or like scribbles instead of words.
Yeah.
So they're like shouting, drop the gun to each other.
Yeah. But in different
And
languages so the other doesn't understand.
we can see like the difference between the boys and the girls. The boys are like defensive, angry, and the girls are more timid and scared. And eventually the girls see that they are just survivors. We just want to live. So they both make the boys lower their guns. So they're like warming up to each other, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then the outside the world brings in reality yet again.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture for that, or?
I do have a picture for that. Eller jag har a picture of the aftermath. Yes.
So, like a missile or a rocket lands right next to them, and his girl gets hit by shrapnel, and his boy and her boy get also hit in the explosion. So they're dead.
Yeah.
They die like instantly.
It's just so nice though, because like not nice that they die, that's not what I mean, but it's like they meet and they're super defensive and protective, as you know, in the beginning, because they've been through so much, but then they see that like they're mirroring each other, kind of. They're just children who's trying to survive in this world, and even if they don't understand each other by language, they still understand each other, like the walk and what they have been through, and they probably seen a lot of things, and they lower their guns and they kind of try to put an end to all this bloodshed. But even if they lower their guns, the universe wants something else, and the outside world just crashes in on them. So I feel like it's sad in so many ways, you know? Especially because like they had just talked about the future, and they start seeing hope, they start being happy about thinking about the future, about getting married and making things happen, and like they will live in a small little house, and they start planning the future for themselves, which, like, you know, grows the little seed of hope inside of them, that there is a future, and that all this will just come to an end. And you know, when they met these people, my first thought was like, finally they can have friends, you know? Maybe they can start a new civilization because they seem to be the same age or whatever. And I was really happy for them, and then someone was cutting onions suddenly. For some
Damn
reason.
ghosts.
The fucking ghosts, man.
Cutting onions.
Yeah, it was just really, really fucking sad.
The second they have a little bit of hope and let their guards down,
Yeah.
everything just crashes down.
It's like, you know, as soon as they let their guard down and they have hope, reality just comes banging on the wall and being like, hello, remember me? You know?
Surprise, I'm back.
Hello, Andre. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about the manga series that we've been reading this month. But yeah, I feel like this was the saddest part, especially because you can see how broken they are after their not significant other, but their companion dies. You know, their best friend that they've had for months and maybe years, because we don't know the time lapse, so we don't really know how long this has been going on for. But like, it's just that shattering feeling of that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it also how they acted afterwards, or like how can you continue, or should you continue?
Yeah, it's like, where do you go? And how
Well,
did it go, the manga reading? Well, it was depressing.
the girl did not hesitate on her path.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I do not have a picture of that. Because she's Sudoku, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, when she sees his dead body, she just instantly takes his gun and shoots herself.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is also really sad because it's like, I get her if she's been struggling, because we don't know anything about them, the other ones. They could have been brother and sister for all we know, or twins or whatever, you know? They don't have to be, you know, just boy-girl lover or whatever. Because we don't know their story, but like, he was probably all she had and all her hope, and she just feels like, I can't survive in this world without him, and I can't survive when I keep being pushed down. Like, as soon as I get somewhere, I start on scratch zero again, you know? But our main character can't do the same decision, so he continue his path to the horizon.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah, one step at a time. Somewhere we should get to a better day.
You will find peace sometime. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Then we have some jumps in the years, because after this incident, he finally gets to, I will do quotation mark here because no one can see them, but he gets to the horizon, which is he comes to a beach, or a beach side, where he decides to live. In the beginning, I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna like make a boat and continue towards the horizon, but he decides to stay at the beach.
Yeah.
And there's some jumps in the times here, because suddenly this main character is an old man. And there's some younger couples living with him. He's like a senior, like super old, and it doesn't seem to be a war going on, but like the world is definitely not what it should be still. It's not like a normal world still. And we have the ending.
We also got to see the girl's backstory, if you remember.
Oh, I don't remember.
She was traveling with a group in a school bus.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I
with
remember.
her dad.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, continue, talk, so I don't talk all the time. Tell the story.
So I think it was before we jumped to the boy being an old man. We got to see the girl's backstory on how it was before she met the boy.
Yeah.
She was traveling in a group in a school bus with her dad and some random people they stumbled upon. And they were like going like nomads, going from place to place, just surviving day to day, finding food for the day, had no real plans for the future. And one day, the oldest member in the group, he gets sick with some contagious sickness that like gives you scarring and bruises, and it's like 99% deadly because one person in the group recognized the symptoms because he was an author, so he had researched the sickness for a book.
Yeah.
So
Convenient. Oh, sorry. Continue.
very very convenient. So the group started to like what's the word, like kick out every person that started to show symptoms.
Yeah. It's
Because-
like you have the bruises, fuck off, you're gonna kill the rest of us.
Like there's a small chance we could survive, so go away.
Yeah.
So they started to do that, and it's not a big group they are in. It's like 6, 7, 8 people. So it ends up the last 3 people is the girl, her dad, and the bus driver. And then after some more traveling, her dad starts showing symptoms too. So he needs to abandon the group. But she doesn't want him to leave. She wants to go with him or wants him to stay in the bus. But they have rules.
Yeah.
So he has to go into the forest and make the best of what time he has left. And eventually the girl and the bus driver, they get like attacked. So the bus driver gets shot, but he doesn't die instantly. So they do manage to escape. And the girl somehow managed to drag him out of the bus and give him a proper burial. Proper, quote unquote.
Yeah, I was gonna say proper, but it's a burial, I guess.
I mean, the rest of the group probably just died in the open in a forest.
Yeah.
So I do think the school bus they met in is the bus she was driving in.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Because the boy and the girl met in the school bus in chapter 2 or something, when the boy meets a girl. Because she doesn't want to leave the school bus, and I think it's because like the bus is all she's been knowing for a long time, as well as that's the only connection her dad has to her. So if he miraculously actually did survive and not die, he can still come back and get her. But I think that, she realizes that her dad is dead, especially when it goes a long time. And I bet she didn't leave the bus for a very long time until she decided to go with the boy as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good story though to see like where did she come from and how did she end up in the bus where they actually meet each other in the beginning. But something that I feel like a lot of people, I saw a discussion online, is the ending. Because after we get the background story, we also get to see like, the ending for the guy now that he's an old man. He doesn't want to die with regrets or feeling like he did something bad, I guess. And when he helps the young couple, I think that he feels content with what he has done in the world. So he takes a boat and goes out in the ocean.
Yeah, he goes out and have his own Viking funeral.
Yeah. Because, you know, he's going for the horizon again, and this time the horizon is at sea. So he takes his boat and he goes out towards the horizon. And that's when we see the boy as a young boy in the water. Help me, I'm under the water.
Somebody help.
I'm under the water. And when he's under, like in the water, he gets to see a hand reaching down for him and picks him up. And that's the ending, where he grabs the hand that's reaching down to him. And I think the last text was like, I hope our journey is eternal, or something like that.
Here, I hope our story is eternal.
Yeah. Some people, there's so many discussions on who this hand is. Some people think is Jesus, because there's a hole in his hand where he was crucified and he's being welcomed to heaven by Jesus himself, because he has no regrets and he haven't done anything bad in his life, and he helped many people. While others want to argue it's the girl's hands welcoming him to heaven, because she got, like, you know, the missile splatter on her, and that's why she has a hole. But the hand is bigger than the boys, so I don't feel like it's the girls. What did you think when you saw this last picture?
Well, I'm kind of a boring person, so I just imagine this is a dying man's final nice moment.
Yeah.
Before the great beyond.
So you believe it's Jesus?
I never got Jesus vibes.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like, I can see there's something in the middle of his hand or its hand.
Yeah.
But I never thought it was a hole, because you don't see his hand through his hand.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought it was like a tattoo or some kind of marking, but I didn't give the hand much thought. It was more like this are his final moments. He's now getting
Peace.
he's not gonna get his rest in peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, so for me it was more like a symbol for him finally passing away.
I didn't see the hole either, to be honest. That's why I was so shocked when I saw the discussion, and there was like 50-50. Like 50% thought it was Jesus, and they were like, there's so many Christianity references through the entire series. And then it was like, you know, the eye for an eye or the leg for a leg reference. And then there was like, someone had done like an entire Word document of different Christianity references that you can find in this book, as well as in the Bible. Some were even saying like there was a lot of Christianity illustrations in the background if you really looked. And I can't say that it was something I noticed, but when you read people's explanations, it kind of makes sense. But I don't know if it makes sense because it is like that or because you can basically invent anything to be about anything if you just describe it well enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a little biased because if you start to look for something, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Like if you get like hyper fixated on like the number 17, you're gonna see that everywhere
Yeah.
in your normal life. Like every car's gonna have a 17 somewhere in the license number. That street sign has the 17. That street address has 17 in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff like that. When you actually look for it, you're gonna see it everywhere.
Yeah. And I feel like that kind of is what it is because I tried to look for an interview with like the author and what his intentions were and if it did have a religious undertone to it, but I couldn't find anything on it. It either could be like that, but there's nothing spoken out about it that it should be. All what I could see from the author was that he just wanted to showcase humanity and humanity in different stages and how what happens if you don't have hope in your life anymore. Did you like the ending though? Did you like that we suddenly get like a jump in time and he was an old man and then he died? Did you feel like that was a good ending for you? Did you feel like satisfied with that ending, or did you feel like that came from nowhere? Kinda.
I definitely felt it came from nowhere because maybe we had some time jumps before, like a month or two,
Yeah.
perhaps, maybe a year, but this is like several decades
Yeah.
worth of time where you're skipping past
Yeah.
until he's an old man at the beach and meeting that young couple that's kinda they are kinda like what he would imagine him and the girl growing up to be.
Yeah. I feel like he saw himself and the girl in them and he felt like, okay, humanity can survive and move on in a good direction. And I feel like maybe that was what made him feel like it was not time to go, but he felt like, he could rest in peace knowing people like that young couple existed and took care of the planet now, so to speak. But it also didn't give us like any explanation what happened, like was the war still ongoing, what's happening in the world, so it definitely left us with a lot of questions, in my opinion, which doesn't have to be bad, like I kind of felt like it was a good ending, but I kind of felt like the jump from him losing her suddenly, because that came as a shock, and him deciding to keep walking to then being 80 years old. I felt like there's a gap there that would have been interesting to explore. But I also understand that if he would have done that, the series would probably be never ending because, it might need an ending as well.
Yeah. And I feel like the boy's story is basically like he is hope, never give up hope.
Yeah.
Because no matter what happened to him, he always pushed forward with his instinct or his plan. We just follow the horizon. Keep going forward, no matter what, and you will find peace.
Yeah.
And he did that. And
Yeah.
eventually he did see that things can be good when he met that young couple, and they also had a kid that called him grandpa.
Yeah.
So he saw that there is hope, there is a future. I never gave up, so I got to see this. Now I'm happy, and now I can go die in the ocean.
Yeah. 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 I also feel like people always say like the last thing that leaves a human body is hope. And if you do lose hope, there's nothing to live for. So yeah, makes sense. He kept strong, and then you have the white-haired girl who didn't keep strong, and she lost hope, and that's the Sudoku.
Yeah. There was no hesitation in that decision.
Yeah, she. There was not much of I need to think about this. She just saw him, and she just pow pow pow. Sounds horrible to say, but she, yeah, she knew what she wanted to do, I guess. Maybe he was the hope in their group as well, just like the main character boy, was the hope as well.
Yeah. It also shows how fast and horrible war is.
Yeah, and how things can change in just 1 second, you know? Like everything can be good and dandy in 1 second, and then the next it's not. And I feel like it's not just war, it's just the world in itself, you know? Like you can be good one day, and then the next day something really horrible happens, and then you're not good anymore. Like, you know, life is very unpredictable like that.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep hoping it's gonna get better. Otherwise, you know, living will be a struggle. Yeah. Would be interesting to see this author who do stuff like this. Do the boxer manhwa, you know, like an entire series about sports and boxing. It would be kind of interesting to see how he dealt with that, because I know that it's very psychological stuff that he writes about. So I feel like it can't just be boxing.
It's a
I'm
lot of.
reading. I'm reading now what it's about. I feel like it has to be something traumatic.
I mean, every boxing movie is not only boxing; it's a lot of mind games and mental growth.
123 chapters on this one. It's a long series. This one.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That's more than 21.
Yeah. Let's see. The Oh, there's been an animation on the Boxer as well, with only 12 episodes.
Goddamn.
I can't find anyone just talking about what it is about. It just says Boxer stuff. Wait, but okay. Oh, the Swinglish I did there. Did you hear?
I did hear that.
Here. Book overview. While searching for the final prodigy to train, legendary boxing coach K stumbles across a bewildering scene. An apathetic teenager simply standing still as his bullies throttle him. But Coach K sees more than this. Sees the precision, grace, and uncanny perseverance in the boy's movements. He knows right away that this is the fighter he's been waiting for. Yet when he tries to recruit him, the boy with the lifeless eyes only asks him one question. Is it any fun hitting people? Is it fun? Maybe. Could be something. Sounds kind of cool to me. I
Sounds
heard
interesting.
Oyasumine Punpun is an emotional trip too. I haven't read it, but I heard it's worth it. I own volume 1 of that series, but I read it and I thought it was weird. And then I was like, okay, I feel like I need to read more to understand. I felt like it was good, but it was weird. I didn't get it, but I did get it at the same time. And I was like, I need to read the other volumes, I think, to understand completely what it's about. Because, yeah, it's definitely weird. Pun pun. But yeah, I also heard some good things about it. We should, though, before we end this stream, we should decide on which new manga we're reading. And I also gonna decide that we're gonna do it bi-weekly. So we're not gonna do it next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. So 17th seems like a good day.
Mm-hmm.
And we will end the pool we have right now on if people have read a book, and most didn't, and that's fine. The next manga, the next manga, we have two have suggested the Witch Hat Atelier. I have not read it myself. I've seen it around and I've seen it at my library, and I've been thinking about reading it, but I've just never picked it up. So I would definitely be down to reading that one. I heard the world building is pretty good in this one. And it's a fantasy series of sort. I don't know how many volumes it is. Yeah, and then we have another one, Ruri Dragon. Haven't heard that one, haven't seen it either. But it's basically apparently a story about a girl who suddenly grows horns and learns she's half dragon. It sounds cozy enough. Another one, I feel, because I think 3 is a good number. Another one
Magic number.
yeah. Another one we have is Inside Mari. No, I have antlers now. There we go. Inside Mari, and Inside Mari is a thriller, kind of like a thriller, not really a thriller, psychological thriller maybe. It starts off with a boy and a girl switching bodies. A guy wakes up one morning inside of Mari, a high school girl that he's been admiring for a long time, and he's a university student of sorts. But then one morning he wakes up as her, and at first he's kind of happy, but then he wants to like go back to his old body. So he kind of have to find himself, and he hopes that Mari is inside of him and that they can change back bodies, basically. So we have one fantasy one, and we have one wholesome one about a girl discovering she's half dragon. And then we have a thriller one about swapping bodies, body swapping. And we will start the pool and see what people think. Should we do the same thing as we did last time? You get 1 vote, I get 1 vote, and then the people in chat get 1 vote. What do you think, Tay?
That sounds good.
We will give them some time to vote. Do you have any ideas of what manga you would want to read from these 3?
I'm thinking about 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Not to interfere with the voting, but
Yeah.
I think 2 of them sounds pretty up my alley.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think you can guess which 2.
I can. Yeah. I mean, I can say I want to read Inside Mari. Mostly because I feel like that one has so much to discuss, but I'm also I've read it already, and I own all the books in my bookshelf right here, so I feel like maybe I should myself pick something I personally haven't read yet. Maybe. But I also want to discuss this one, it's always fun to discuss books with other people, especially books that has surprising themes, or they have surprising endings, or like this one we read now. It's so different in the way it's portrayed because it doesn't have a lot of dialogue in it. So it's very interesting to be like, what did you feel about this character? Because so many people see different things in illustrations, It all about I was gonna say it's all about knowledge, but not really. It's more, association, what we associate different things to, if we see things as bad or good or evil or whatever.
Yeah, I really did like how pictures are used to tell an entire story for the most part.
Yeah.
It was like I haven't read many picture books, so maybe when I was little, but never anything with heavier themes.
Were you happy though that you read it, or that you were forced to read it?
I did not feel forced.
Okay.
I
That's
did not feel
good.
that. But I really did like it.
Yeah. I mean, because this is my attempt to make you into a reader, we're starting with manga for you, little noob, and then I can invite more text heavy sources. And then maybe we can read books that's like, you know, like Les Miserables, that's 1,800 pages long, and we can discuss the French Revolution together.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm gonna read the Pride and Prejudice one day.
Oh, Mr. Darcy, my favorite.
Mr. Darcy.
Hello there. First of all, I have watched a Swedish thriller movie like 1 month ago, and it's called, and I'm not joking, Moon God or Månguden. It was very interesting. I've actually not seen Månguden. Have you seen it?
Never heard of. I am googling it right now.
Yeah, me too, actually. Wait, this is a very old one.
1988.
Yeah. It's also an amateur movie. Isn't it? Ah, okay. And okay, the movie is about someone who do amateur movies. I see. Never heard of this one before.
Me neither.
To be honest, I don't watch many Swedish thriller movies. The only thriller movies from Sweden that I actually do watch is Beck. I really like Beck.
I've seen a lot of Beck, but not the newer ones.
Yeah, I haven't seen the 2 newest ones, but the other ones I've seen. It just like reminds me of, like, I was gonna say childhood, but it reminds me of like when I was in gymnasiet and even högstadiet, because like every Sunday they showed a Beck movie on TV, and then my dad would make, like, you know, those toast with salami and cheese, and then we had black currant tea. It was very cozy and yummy, and then you had murder.
Murder mystery on the TV.
Yeah. I actually read recently an interview because Beck, I don't know if you knew, but Beck is based on books that was written in the 80s and 70s by Sjöwall. I haven't read them myself, but I want to. So someday I'm gonna pick them up and read them. But I heard that the author, she was like, one day when she was in a cab, she screamed at her friend and she was like, "That looks just like Gunvald," you know? And she asked the taxi driver if he could come and join her for like a drink at the pub, because she wanted to interview him, because to her he looked and acted just like the character in her book, and she wanted to like take inspiration from him and add it to the characters in the book. Which I think is really funny to do.
Yeah, I've heard that they were based on books, but I know nothing about the author or the books.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I find them funny. But yeah, I think I will read them at some point. But I heard someone say that like, they're not very good, basically because they're written in 60s, 70s, 80s Sweden, and they were like, they're not realistic. That's not how the force work. And I was like, but you can't look at them and be like, that's how the police work today. Because that it was a long time ago. You have to look at them as historical fiction at this point, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of find that criticism to be kind of funny. Okay, so the voting been going on for 9 minutes. I will give it 1 more minute, then you have 10 minutes to decide. So far, Inside Mari is actually leading. It got 50% of the votes.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. I think people are just doing it to please me at this point. I can add though, for people if you want trigger warnings, Inside Mari is about underage people, and they do sexual stuff, not with others, but with themselves, like, you know, self-pleasuring and stuff. So I want to throw that out there. It does have grown-up stuff in it. I mean, the main character is, after all, stalking poor Mari for some reason. Oh, it's been 10 minutes. And people have decided that it will be Inside Mari. And what was your vote on, Tay?
My vote was on Inside Mari.
Okay. I was actually not gonna say Inside Mari because I already read it, even if I think it's a great discussional piece. I was gonna say Witch Hat Atelier because I haven't read it and I will plan to read it at some point. So, yeah. Fine then.
This is fine.
This is fine.
Rune was my number 2 choice.
Ah.
By the way.
Oh, I see. Oh, I thought the Witch Hunt Atelier was your number 2, I mean. I mean, I get it. You like cutesy stuff. You like cute and wholesome stuff. You're such a girly boy.
I am a girly boy.
The best kind of girly boy. I think that Inside Mari... Okay, I have 6 volumes. How many are there? I think there's like 10. Or is there more? Oh, 9. Okay, there's 9 volumes. So this is definitely more reading. Because if you want to... Like, otherwise we will do like we did first time. You read first volume, but I will most definitely reread all of them again. And I will talk about the series as a whole, as we did today. So there will most likely be spoilers next time as well, I presume.
Yeah.
I don't know how many you gonna read, Tay. I'm assuming you will read all of them, if I know you correctly.
I will try.
Okay, if I read the plot of Inside Mari, it says it like this. The genre is said to be drama, mystery, and essentialism. And the plot is an essential deconstruction of body swap. It kind of does have some Yuri as well, you know, girl on girl love in it. The basic premises is initially presented as a college dropout, Komori, waking up in the body of a high school girl, Mari, only to find his college self still exists, but not with Mari inside of him, but as himself. as the story unfolds, as Komori bonds with fellow students in Mari's class, it's revealed later on some uncertainty on who he is and who is Mari. So it's kind of like a mystery on where is Mari and who is he and why does he still exist and stuff. It's really good. It's very much about who am I as a person, and do we really know other people even if we're really close to other people?
What makes us human?
Yeah. But it does have some sexual scenes in it and some nudity. So I want to warn about nudity. I felt like I didn't warn people enough about the gore in the horizon. And I don't know if people are more uptight about the nudity parts. So just be aware. I think it doesn't take nudity until like volume 3, 4, 5. So I think you can read first and second at least without something happening that's inappropriate. I'm excited. I really wanted to read this one with you. I feel like it's a great story to discuss because I know people gonna be like, what the fuck just happened?
What the hell?
And I enjoy what the fuck stories, you know. I like when there's multiple twists and turns and you feel like, what the fuck? That makes me happy.
A good what the fuck always is always welcome.
Exactly.
In this house.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty good. But we will see each other in 2 weeks instead. Because I feel like a month was definitely too much. So we will try every other weekend instead. And see if that's a better schedule. Otherwise we have to change it again. I mean, the only thing we can do is try, right? I just feel like a month was definitely too much time in between.
Definitely.
So we will try it this way and see what happens.
Trial and error, the best teacher.
Yes, definitely. Do you have anything you want to add before we end the stream? Anything on the horizon or anything about Inside Mari or the club activity? Mr. Noob?
I can say it was really fun to actually read for fun. For the first time in a very, very long time.
Yeah, you have only read school books in forever.
Yeah. The school books, reports, and other people's work in school.
Yeah.
That's all I'm reading. So actually having something that you don't have to force yourself, no deadlines, or there is a deadline, but it doesn't feel forced, you know? It's something I want to do.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you wouldn't have read the book, you know, it wouldn't have been life or death situation, you know? You don't get graded. I mean, you kind of get graded because, you know, I will put in my mind that, he didn't like this series that I really love. Well, there's something wrong with him. And my opinion of him is forever changed, of course. But yeah.
I'm scared.
Are you scared? No.
I'm scared.
Not super scared.
What if I
No.
have the wrong opinion?
My opinion of you can't get lower than it already is, so it's fine.
What do you mean?
You're the worst.
What?
I'm just joking.
What are you?
Don't pretend to be sad. People would think I bully you for real. He's not sad. He likes it when I bully him. Tell them. I will put gun on your head otherwise. Tell them.
I am very content. I'm very happy.
God damn. You make me look bad.
You can't look bad. You always look good.
See, that's why you're the worst.
Cause I'm a cutie patootie.
My cheek hurts because I've been smiling for more than 2 hours. I feel like that's not natural.
Same.
I missed streaming, man, so much. It's so fun to just talk.
It's fun to be on stream.
Yeah.
I can definitely feel my cheeks on the face hurting.
Me too. Oh my god. Stop smiling.
Don't be happy. No happiness allowed.
Frown, please. Oh my god. Well, to save both our cheeks, I guess we will end stream here. Let's go back to being
miserable.
miserable and unhappy. You know, to be able to read such a depressive manga series though and still be happy about it, I think that's a win.
Yeah, we can see the good in life.
Yeah, we have hope still.
Hope is still with us.
Very good.
Never surrender. Don't FF15.
But never FF. You continue to make others suffer.
Even if life runs it down, you don't FF.
Yeah, you start running down too.
You run along with life.
My last real League game is still 0-20-0, by the way. Because we haven't played League since. We only played Arena.
Our last proper League game.
Yeah, I ran it down. I also got banned for a few weeks. Was it 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. It felt like longer.
Is 2 weeks, a month, or permanent? That's the 3 stages.
But I didn't lose my GG friendliness thing because they kind of restarted them.
Yeah, they restarted the honor system, so I went up.
You don't have to
and
be.
You too.
You don't have to be a kind boy for 2 years.
It feels good, man.
Oh my god, kind of funny. Never returning to that game. I mean,
ma'am.
we do like Misery, but maybe not in a League format anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, we are happy where we at now.
Well, our mood have definitely improved since League.
It has. It has. Okay, say goodbye now.
Goodbye, everybody.
What was that?
I'm doing a poo from The Simpsons. I think.
I think.
Or no, it's the doctor guy. Whatever his name is. I think.
Doesn't even know.
I haven't watched Simpson in years.
Goodbye, everyone.
And goodbye.
Thank you for stopping by. And hopefully, we inspired someone to read something. Or maybe we inspired you to not read something. I see that as a win as well. We will see you guys on Manga Club the 17th. I will schedule a stream. But yeah, in 2 weeks. See you. And next series will be Inside Mari. Exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye bye, everyone.
See ya.